and then we'll wait a little while to let people fill in the chat room. I usually have like anywhere from like 20 to 30 people at a time,
Yeah.
and I promoted it on like different platforms. We already got two in the building. What's going on, Z Customs? If you want to see who's in the chat, you're gonna have to get on a separate device, Joey,
Okay.
and you go to my YouTube channel, but turn your volume down so we don't get any feedback. Like
Okay.
just turn the volume all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Randy? What's up, Randy Kind of Gang? What's going on, Callis? Al, what's going on? What's up? What's up? Appreciate you guys for stopping by, man. Slap that like button. We got a special guest in the building today. We're gonna wait a little while, wait for the chat to fill up a little bit, and we're gonna get started. G Works, what's going on, big dog? Hey, they showing you a lot of love, Joe. You watch, you can see.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, what's going on, big dog? William, what's up? Trap Cracker, what's going on? I see you. June Jones in the building. Dealership Detailing Podcast. What's
Yeah,
going
June.
on? Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I did an interview. It's been a while since I've been live. I do lawn care as well. So from like March to May, it's real crazy because like you get a lot of rain, and
Yeah.
you got people calling you wanting to get their lawns cut. And you get behind because it rains, but the temperature is not high yet. So um, it takes a long time for the ground to dry. So like if it rains Monday, it can be wet Thursday. Still can be wet because it's not hot enough, and then you can push them, but you know how long it's going to take if you got to push 5-6 yards a day. You can't put nothing heavy on it because you're going to wreck the yard up. So
Yeah.
it's real crazy for me. Like I try to drop a video every week or do some on my channel every week, but I did pretty good this year. But usually I'll take a couple of weeks off or a week or two here and there, and just to because I don't have time to film nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I'm like, man, I can put this camera down and get to work, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of work.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, you guys probably already know this guy. It's Joey C. Love from Detailing for Money Facebook group on Facebook, of course. Man, let's just get right into it. Where are you currently located?
Man, I'm on the island of Oahu. I'm in Hawaii, but I'm at Ko'olina is where my business is out of. So it's like a resort where they have golf tournaments and stuff. That's where my home base is. But I do mobile around here, about 20-mile radius from my house.
Okay. So do you are you full-time? Are you a full-time detailer?
Full-time detailer, yeah.
Okay. So in Hawaii, what I understand is it rains a lot, man. So like as far as what is detailing like in Hawaii as far as the climate and the demographic?
So the climate, I would say it rains probably every other day, at least a little shower. You know,
Hmm.
but the main thing that feeds our economy here is the military that's constantly coming and going. They're coming here. They're bringing their cars. We have to detail it when they come. We have to detail it when they leave. While they're here, they get details. So that's the main thing that fuels um, our business out here. If you're a detailer here,
Okay, so what base are you near?
so there's Schofield Barracks. There's Hickam Air Force Base. There's Pearl Harbor, obviously. There's Kaneohe. There's a Marine Corps base. So we have a lot of we have all branches, Navy, everything. So
Wow. Okay. So like with the what you said is raining every other day, like a light shower. Like, how do you finagle your way through all that?
so say it'll be a perfectly sunny day.
Hmm.
A cloud will come over. It'll rain for 5 minutes. And it'll be sunny the rest of the day. Or typically, when the weather at night when the sun goes down, it'll cool down, and we'll get a morning shower almost every morning, like light shower. So not rain to where you're getting rained out. It does happen, but it's not as crazy. And then there'll be times that it will rain for like a week straight. So there's worse places in the mainland, but for
Hmm.
here the weather's pretty good year round.
Wow. Damn. So raining for a week straight. How often does it rain for a week straight?
Very rare, usually
Okay.
around hurricane season.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because I like Google like real weird stuff, and I Google like the rainiest cities in the rainiest cities in the world or whatever. And Hawaii wasn't number one. They was like maybe number 10 or something like that. It's crazy, man. It was like Alabama, like I think it was Mobile, Alabama was like number one. I was like, it was like number one. So that's crazy. But yeah, I always wondered about that. Like places where it rained a lot. Like I see detailers around. I always wondered how did they do that. So like as far as your what do you mostly do? Do you do like a lot of polishing, waxing, coatings, interiors? Like what's a typical day of detailing like for you?
So for me personally, there's a market for all of it. You could pretty much pick what you want to do. I like
Hmm.
to do the cleanings because not too many people want to do them. Everybody's focused on selling coatings. So I like to do interiors, but really I like to do the construction work, like the emergency details where there's an accident in someone's vehicle or an odor or someone got overspray on this 10 cars or they spilled concrete on, you know, a bunch of vehicles. I like to do those. Um, and just very simple detailing because no one else wants to do it. So I can stay super busy by doing that. I'll do a coating here and there, but my main thing is I just want to do those quick jobs that are easy and then go home, at a decent time.
Right. So like a quick job. What do you mean? What's a quick job for you?
So your
Give me.
standard complete detail, what some people call it, inside and out shampoo. Exterior detail, clay, seal it, shampoo, cracks and crevices on the inside, windows, dresser tires. Something like that would be about 2 to 4 hours for me, and I'll try to do two of those in a day. Or if I don't do that, say if I have like one of those, and I'll have two maintenances after. So I try to hit my quota for each day. My quota is a lot. It's pretty laid back compared to like what it could be, but I try to keep my quality number one, not the money.
Okay, so what's your quota if you don't mind me asking? You don't have
I
to answer if you don't want to.
No, I shoot for about 500 a day. That,
Okay.
that's my goal.
All right. So like so you said your standard, what is it ranging from? Like 150, 200 bucks?
So the standard complete detail will start at 250 plus tax, and depending on the vehicle, it'll go up to about 400. So say if you have a sedan, if it's a two-door or four-door, it's going to be 250. If you have a minivan or suburban, it's going to cap out at about 400. But that's just the entry. That's just the standard cleaning. So there's still
Hmm.
opportunity to sell ceramic coatings, water spot removal. So you could go to someone's house for a $250 job and then find other things and sell them on that. So you could very easily turn the only car you have that day into $1,000 job before even selling a coatings.
All right, let me ask you this. How much is a gallon of gas in Hawaii?
Gallon of gas right now, I think I saw one that's about $3.58.
Okay. Do you know how much a gallon of milk is?
Gallon of milk ranges. If you go to Costco, it's about $5. If you go to Safeway, it could be 10.
Yo, Mickey. Where your mom? Yeah.
She about to come.
Mickey, hey, how much is a gallon of milk? You said 270? Okay. Yeah, man, like when I try to figure out a person's economy, I always ask like the price of milk and the price of gas. Yeah. And my little buddy back there. But yeah, but I like to, and your gas is maybe $1, maybe $1 higher over here. Your milk is like $3 more than ours. That says a lot because I'm looking at your price point.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, because for what you're mentioning, my price for that start on the sedan is $150.
So our buying power here, if I were to take $100 from here, it would have $75 value. Or if I took $100 from you and spent it here, you would have $75 buying power compared to your $100 buying power there. So we're about a 25%. Our money's worth about 25% less here.
Right. See, and I was trying to explain that last year sometime. I was trying to explain that, and I remember that I actually went and I typed in what's $100 worth in each state, and you can see the difference. You can see I would take let's say $100 would be, and if I took my 100 from Mississippi and went to Jersey, it was only going to be worth $75. And I was trying to get people to see that, but I think people have a hard time, because if they never, let me put this correctly, if they never really just experience other states, because I actually lived in Jersey for like 2 years. I was in the military. But you're on a military base, so it's a little different than the outside world. But when I would leave and go to Philly, Jersey, New York, and stuff like that, the prices were totally I would see the difference. Wow, But a big thing that we got going on that I always see, well, one of the big things that people always ask is about pricing, and I tell people that you can't ask me how much you should charge if we're in a different state.
Yeah.
I can answer the question. I have to go do some research, but you're going to have to pay me for that. You see what I'm saying? I'll do some research, because I can simply go look up, like I just did. I'll go look up the cost of milk. And if you guys are listening, I'm giving you a gem right now. You can, the U.S. Census collects all that data every how many years? I'm not sure how many years they do it, but they collect that data and it's public record. You can go look it up. But if you want to know quickly how much you should charge for something, look at the price of gas versus the price of gas in your place. Look at the the price of gas. Look at the price of milk, and also in your area, look at what your competition is charging, and then you want to fall somewhere in there. But asking somebody that's 5-6 states away, I can't tell you off my head, and then you can't always go by what I charge. So you hear this guy. This is the first time I'm ever speaking with this guy other than Facebook. Like today is the first time I ever spoke to him like this, and he did not know he did not know the questions I was going to ask him, and I asked him real quick, man. He told me his price point was $250. I'm asking him how much is milk? I asked my wife. Now, I don't really do the grocery shopping thing. I've been a few times, but I hate it. I don't do it. I don't go. And so I asked my wife, what's the gallon of milk? And I think she said $270, right? She said $250. He said a gallon of milk is like $5. That should let you know the difference in the economy. So if he says, yeah, I'll charge $250 for that, and you only charging $150, you shouldn't feel any type of way. Some people get a little offended when people say that, because and a lot of people put people down like you're not charging enough, blah 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 blah, but you don't know what city that person's in. You don't know the demographic.
Yeah, and to be fair, my prices were about that 150 to 200 range, but I include a paint sealant in mine to kind of boost it up that extra 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not like not everyone wants to pay that.
Right.
But you throw a paint sealant in and you tell them, if you were to call me, it would be X amount of dollars for this. I make it into a package deal, so it saves me from going to 5 houses a day, so I only have to go to 2. And it's a little bit more, but you're able to get your quota faster, and they get more bang for their buck. Because if I'm there, I might as well, what's an extra $50 to apply a paint sealant?
Right. Okay. So like you just said, a lot of people don't want to pay that price. Like when you first started, what were you charging? Like year one, getting into the game, what were you charging for that same package?
Okay, so let me give you a little idea. I started at a detail shop, and our packages were about $140 for a complete detail on like a 2-door car, and then that would come with the wax. So when I left there, because I was managing that place for 3 years, I left there and I just basically mirrored their packages, but I tweaked it. I did away with waxes because they take a long time, and I used like spray sealants to make it faster. And then I started at the 150 price range to 200. That was my price. And then if the vehicle was bad, I would charge a little more, but that's what it was, about 150 to 200. And I over the past 5 years, I haven't raised my prices much because you can always upsell other things, but I feel like a standard cleaning should be the thing that you use to get someone in the door, because I don't think you can go too crazy on it unless there's obvious problems like crazy sand or dog hair. But I try to keep it low to where they'll still use me.
Okay, so like where did your confidence come from, like with those prices? Because I remember when I first started, I started my lawn care, and then like 6 months later, I added the detailing. And at the time, I actually even stayed away from the word detailing. I would watch videos on like polishing and buffing and paint correction and stuff like that. I would watch videos, and I don't know if I psyched myself out, but it just got to the point where I was just like, wow, it's too much. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from that word detail, and I'm gonna say, car wash. The original name of my business was A&A Lawn Services, A&A Lawn and Mobile Car Wash Services. And then I ended up changing it to A&A Professional Services, because I wanted to, like, if I wanted to get into any other services, I didn't want to have to, basically, I just didn't want to get lumped into one thing. I wanted the name to cover everything.
Yeah.
So I just stood away from it because I was like, okay, I'm watching these guys and I'm like, wow, they retailers. So let me stay out of that, and let me just stay over here and let me just wash your car. But it would take me a long time to do these cars. And a guy told me, like, dude, you're detailing, and I thought that detailing just was paint correction. And just like Rome the Polisher said in my last interview I did, Rome said that paint correction is paint correction, detailing is detailing, it's two separate things. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I was told that by somebody before he said it. He just verified it. So, but I started, getting more confident and start doing more. Then I start upping my prices, and that's the thing, man. So like, I just want to know, like, how did you, like, where did your confidence come from, like, to say this is 250 and I'm standing on it and I'm not letting anybody talk me down?
Okay, so I'm very aware of the market and everyone else around it and everyone that's in it. A lot of the people I'll meet around here, and I'll have them, join detailing for money. So I pretty much know what the market is. For the past 10 years, I know what a client's reaction is going to be when you tell them, and I feel like the 250 price range is actually lower than a lot of places. I'm about $50 cheaper than the surrounding shops and detailers. So I can easily say that. I know that my quality, I'm real thorough, so I have no problem. They can check my reviews, but it just being aware of what's going on around you is definitely going to build your confidence. So if you know that these guys do terrible work and they charge more than you have no problem standing on your ground on your price. It's figured that you've done the math. My numbers aren't just some number I threw out there because I know I can get 250 from someone. Like, it's a calculated it's an estimated $100 an hour, and a $250 job should take me 2.5 hours, and I'm extremely fast and efficient. So if I finished at 3 hours and they got 30 minutes for free, it's not a big deal. But that's technically how mine goes. My prices are strategic to the $100 an hour, what a business needs to make for expenses and stuff like that. So if I have to move faster to get that, then it falls on me. And if I move slower, just like at a normal job, you're working on commission or something, you're just not going to make as much as if you sold 50 cars a month versus, stuff like that. So.
Okay. So like, you said you started off at a detail shop. So that's typically that's really how you got started. But how long have you been doing it?
Okay, so I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm 38 now. My first job, I was at a dealership. My dad was the finance manager. I was there for 2 years. Then I went to my uncle's body shop where I did wet sanding, detailing, polishing paint on freshly painted vehicles. I did that for 3 years, and this bouncing around from place to place. Say someone would come to the job, see me, offer me more. I'd go work at their place, and this went on for years. So in the last 10 years, I went to the last 10 years is when I kind of got into the better quality that I'm going for now. Back in my first few years, I was a complete hack. Like, we're using dirty towels. Like, none of the places I worked knew what they were doing. So the last 10 years, I want to say, is when I actually started to develop my craft, like where I actually started to try to figure out the correct way to do things. So yeah, I've been in this maybe 22 years, but 10 years have counted in my eyes. So.
Okay. So how long the Love Auto Detail? How long you been in business?
I opened Love's in, I think, 2012.
Okay. Well, it's like it's like everybody really kind of started around the same time. Like I started 2012.
Yeah.
I started 2012. Okay, so like, guys, I met Joey on Facebook group. One day he popped up in my in my messages on Facebook, and he just said, "Hey man, I want you to come join the group or whatever." Just random one day, and I'm like, okay, I checked it out, and I think I had to answer some questions or whatever, and I was on there. And then I dropped a video. I just uploaded one of my little minute videos on there, and I got a lot of love. And I was just looking at the channel, looking at the page, and just seeing all the interactions and everything. And I'm like, okay, but I never looked at how many members that it had. And you guys know how I am. Like I see stuff, but sometimes I don't see it. I'm just kind of weird like that. I guess I'll be in my own head sometimes. But recently, I want to say maybe a week or two ago, I was looking at it, and I was like, damn, he has like over 8,000. Am I correct? It's like over 8,000 followers now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, and I'm like, I want to be does he have a Facebook? I mean, a YouTube page. So I go look, and I don't see anything. So I hit him up one day. I said, hey, do you have a YouTube? He was like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, how did he get so many followers on that page? Me personally, I don't have a lot of followers on Facebook or Instagram, but over half of my followers comes from YouTube. So just using that logic, I just assumed that you had a big YouTube page and that's how you was getting them. And so I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. And so the thing is that I was intrigued by it, and I wanted to know like why and how did you start detailing for money on Facebook?
Okay, so myself and Hector, one day, Hector, we were in another group. We were in Gary Dean's group, and we could only talk about his products in that group. So we were like, I was doing videos for him, showing the people how I use his products, because when I first stumbled upon them, they were really good. And I'll give Gary Dean credit for his Gary Dean wash method, because I still, but yeah.
Yeah, shouts out to Gary Dean. He's out of Florida somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's out of Florida. And yeah, so we wanted to be able to talk about other products, because people would see videos and they'd say, what do you do in this situation? And I didn't want to look like I'm stealing members from his group saying, oh, go try CarPro. They have this thing or whatever. So we wanted to break away and start our own group, to where basically our group is like a detailing community. So it's not that I have followers. It's like, and say it's like a local pub. We just invite people there, and the group belongs to the people. So for a while I was the face of the group, and I still kind of am, but I kind of just set the thing where we don't bash each other. It's all about helping people, and our goal obviously is to make money. Some people have full-time jobs and they want to do this on the weekends to make extra money. So I struggled when I was detailing, because no one wanted to help, because people were like, oh, I know this, why am I going to share? And they want you to figure it out on your own. So when these groups came around, I was like, yeah, I'll just show you guys everything I do. And I wanted people to do the same thing. And that's pretty much how, people started seeing our group's been through some tough times. And we might have like a weird reputation with other groups, but our thing it's for the people. So whatever is going on in the group, it's the majority of the people, that's what's going on. So it's not just me that, it's a bunch of people chipping in and helping.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing about it is, like, I've noticed when I look on there, when I post things on there, I noticed that like if you post something on there, you may get like maybe 10 likes or something like that. But when you post something on there, it like you could just type something in there. No picture, no nothing. You just type something in there and it gets a lot of likes and everything. And I'm like, wow, you really gained a lot of popularity on that. And because of that, do you get a lot of questions about detailing your DMs? And when you get like I know you get bombarded with it. So how do you deal with it? Because being popular is one thing, knowing how to detail is another thing. And you got 20 years in the game, so most of the questions that they ask you, you're pretty much you're gonna be able to answer. But someone like me, because of the popularity, and it's other people out there that are way more experienced than me, but they're not as popular on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. So nobody knows how to go. Nobody knows them to go and ask them. So they ask me the questions, and a lot of the questions sometimes it's mainly not about detailing. The questions I get is more on the business aspect of it. So like when you get those kind of questions, like how do you handle it? Like how do you handle not the questions per se, but the multitude, like when you get bombarded with it?
So I'll be honest, a lot of times I don't have all the answers, and a lot of times I can't get to everyone.
Right.
And, there'll be situations where I'll look and I'll be like, a guy was in a situation and I didn't get to him.
Right.
And so that's another reason why we wanted to do the group, because now you can go on there and you can ask the question in public, and there's going to always be someone that's going to be there that's gone through that and wants to be like, hey man, that situation was a pain, and I don't want, it's like if it's a good feeling to be able to help someone get through something that was a pain in your butt, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's like, and that was the same thing when the thing with us with the new wave is that what I saw with us was I remember watching YouTube videos like as far as detailing probably like what 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And like Junkman and all these different people on there. And one thing that was different with us, different with them and us, is that we interact with each other a lot. And you have friends on here that you probably talk to on the phone, that you talk to on Facebook, but you never met them.
Yeah.
You've met them, but you haven't met them. I know you know what I mean. I like my guy Sporties, man. We talk almost every day.
Yeah.
And if not every day, we talk every day. A text message or 10-minute conversation or hour conversation, like every single day almost. I've never met him. You see?
Yeah.
And I don't just see them doing that. If they did, I don't know about it, but I just don't see them doing that. So when I saw that, I was like, man, and just like you did, you're getting all those questions. I kind of want to just have a group of people that I'm, just like people may say that I'm the face of it, or I'm the leader of it. I'm not. It belongs to, like you said, to the people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start that, just create a platform where people can ask the questions, but people still private message me. And, at first I would answer every question, if I'm in a live chat or if it's a DM or if they text me, or some people even used to call me, and I would do what I can or whatever. But it started getting to the point where one of the questions that I hate hearing is, how do I start? I don't like that question no more. Like, come on, man, how do you start? Or some of the things that they ask you, and I'm like, dude, if you just go to Google and type in exactly what you asked me, you'll find it. So what I started doing was I just said, you know what, I'll do business consultations. Okay, if you're serious, if you really want to know, and you don't want to do your own due diligence, then I'll give you 15 minutes. You give me $25, cash app it to me, and I'll tell you. And when I did that, the questions slowed down.
Yeah.
The questions slowed down because I'm like, okay, you got a platform where you can go and ask questions. You had, I'm telling you, 90% of the stuff people ask, you can Google it.
Yeah.
But I understand. It's just like when you was a kid. I trust me, I understand. I'm not mad at all. I understand it. But when I was a kid, I would, my dad was a college professor. There was anything about just schoolwork, homework, he knows it.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, oh, I don't understand this. I'll be at school. I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna ask my dad. He knows, And my dad used to just give me the answers. After a while, my dad would be like, go look it up. Go look it up. And it would piss me off. I'm like, Dad, you know it. Tell me. He said, no. I said, you're right. I know it because I put in the work and I studied. That's how I know it. I learned it. You need to learn it too so you can know it.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have had Google back then or this stuff back then. I'm talking about I had to go look in an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Encyclopedias and dictionaries and stuff like that. So that's kind of my way of what my dad did to me. It's like, I'm not treating them like children. I'm just saying that you if I showed you my DM, you'd be like, wow. I'm talking about Instagram and Facebook. I get questions every day. And I'm like, and some of the questions are understandable. I'll be like, okay, I'll send them that. I'll give them that answer. But some of the questions is kind of like, dude, do your own due diligence. So I'm like, look, if you want me to do your research for you, pay me, and I'll do it. I'll gladly do it. But man, that's enough of that. I'm ranting, man. I'm ranting. You was like my therapist for like I just I just used you as a therapist for like 15 minutes. But anyway, man. Uh, but right. So now you said that you had a lot going on with the group, and you try to keep it positive, and so like the more and more the group grows, have you experienced negative comments and hate?
Yeah, I've experienced a lot of hate. It started out as this was a group of our friends and we were just sharing, and then somehow people started joining. And once we got past 3,000 people, that's when it just started getting real nasty in there. We have all kinds of racial slurs. We have just everything you can think of, just nasty people that are just, they're just not happy with their lives. And the problem is, say someone shares a video of something and everyone jumps on him, and then he no longer wants to share it. So if that guy discovered like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow one day, he doesn't want to share anymore because he's worried about getting attacked, and it's just a negative thing. That's why we have that. That's our number one rule is no bashing. Like, go in their DM and tell them, this is how you should do something, but just don't make someone don't belittle people publicly, because you're just killing the flow of knowledge.
Right, and that's exactly it, because I'm petty like that. I'm very petty like that. Like if I feel that if you disrespect me for just no reason, me personally, I cut you off. I have no problem doing it, man. I'm like the king of cutting people off. Like, I got people I hadn't talked to since grade school that pissed me off, and I'm done. I'll see them right now. I won't. It's like I never met them. I'll cut you off, because to me, I just know how it can go. I know how it can go. Like, going back and forth with somebody, it never turns out. It never turns out right. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to change my character or have someone make me do something that I normally wouldn't do because I'm upset.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I just leave it alone, because I don't want to have this back and forth with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I don't let my ego, because sometimes people do something and your ego, even though you're not in the wrong initially, your ego will tell you, it's like you have the angel right here, you have the devil right here. And, and that devil be sounding real good. He'd be like, hey, man, this man disrespected you. You ain't done nothing to him. Just, go in on him, And, you have to choke that devil out, man, because because you be thinking like, man, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do this, but man, you can't beat this.
Yeah, and they're gonna
beat that.
They're gonna bait you to get you out of your character, so they can be like, look, it's all traps online.
Yeah,
you got to always be aware of what someone's trying to do, and you see them start getting slick. Sometimes you got to ignore them, because they're trying to set you up to bring you down to some level.
Right. Yeah. And I've noticed that, because I used to get tricked like that a lot, man. Not on social media, like in my personal life. In my younger years, I used to get tricked like that a lot, man. I'm talking about every time, man. I would fight, I would do something out of my character. And then what happened was, it's kind of like they would do something. It would be disrespectful, but when I react to that, what I do will outshadow what they do. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's kind of like if, and I like to use the example all the time. Let's say I'm walking down the street, and every day I walk down the street, this guy's throwing pebbles at me. The pebbles don't hurt, but it's annoying. It's annoying. Yeah. And I'm like, look, man, stop. I'm telling you to stop. I'm begging you to stop, but you won't stop. All I want you to do is to stop and leave me alone. And I'm having a real bad day one day, and you start throwing those pebbles, and I get in my pickup truck, just driving through your house.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sitting up here looking like an idiot, saying, hey, man, he was throwing pebbles at me. So
Yeah.
you run your truck through his house. I mean, you done tore up your truck, and you done caused thousands of dollars of damage, you know. And so it just kind of, I've never done that before, by the way, but but it outshadows. It's just a pebble. It outshadows that. So,
Yeah.
and I had to retrain myself on that thinking because, you know, I want to win. I want to win, man. So like me and Sporties talk about this every day, man. I want to win, and those are distractions, and those take you off your game plan. And I watch other YouTubers, and you know sometimes I see things going on, and I'll be like, wow. I'll be looking, and I'll be thinking to myself, I wonder if they would have made that video had that not happened. Because if someone does something negative or anything on social media, I just look at it. I sit back and just watch it and just look at it. But I'm not gonna do anything that I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna make a video about, you know, someone that was being negative towards me. That's something that, if let's say everything was peaceful, everything is good, that's not something I would do.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking about it, like you didn't do that. They made you do that. They controlled you. They made you do that. So I'm never going to do that because I don't want anybody. And that's the reason why I started working for myself, because I don't want anybody controlling me.
Yeah.
We got enough control already. We got the IRS. We already got the government. We already got things that control us, man. Can I have something that I control?
Exactly.
You know, so that's why I just said, man, I'm not gonna fall for that, because I really want to win, and I want to see other people win. I truly do. Like I got a guy that called me 2 years ago. He been calling me ever since. We chop it up, and we talk like almost just as much as me and Sporty's talk. He talk, and from where he started to where he is now, just from our conversation, he's grown a lot, man. Shouts out to Clean Right Cut Right. He's grown a lot, man. Like things that he just through conversations. Like I'm not there teaching him and coaching him and stuff like that. It's just conversations and things that he see me doing. He asks me questions, we talk about it, and then next thing I know, he's doing it. And then he calls me and say, "Hey man, I did this and did that." I'm like, "Wow!" And I know I'm the reason for it, you know. And he also talks to a lot of other people. G Works out on Elite. Shouts out to him. I know he on here somewhere. And he talks with Sporties as well. But I got another question, man.
Yeah.
For the most part, you know, I know, like I just talked about it. I know you don't really pay any mind to the negativity, but there's always a few comments that slips by and like piss you off. Like, so like, can you don't have to give us any names.
Yeah.
Can you give us a situation when a negative comment pissed you off, and how did you handle it?
Okay, so I'm good friends with Greg Masterson. There's a lot of people that
I saw that. Like, you know what? And I was like, who, you know what? I saw that on the thing, and I'm looking, I'm like, who is this guy? And I watch him. I don't see nothing he's doing wrong.
Yeah, so well, he used to be with Chemical Guys. I don't know, back in the day, maybe 10 years ago. He was the one online doing all the videos and stuff. So he was well known, but you know, they'd have a lot of people felt like he was with them, and then he started his own company, and now he's no longer like supporting Chemical Guys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally against it. So you know, a lot of people, he kind of asked for the attention, and then you know, people get on there and they just attack him for like weeks and months at a time.
Wow.
And, you know, and then so you know, I just, because I'm his friend, and I'm just like, you guys chill out or whatever. And then people start attacking me, and then
wow,
accused of being his lover. Yeah, it's just
no, they went that far.
Yeah, they went pretty far with that.
Over chemicals.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you know, I bought it. He's a friend. He came up with this product line, so I bought most of his products to try. and he sent me the rest of the ones that I didn't have. So I was trying them, and I was doing videos like, oh, his waterless wash and shine is like one of the best things I ever shine. They're like, oh man, he's paying you. You know, it's just I don't know. If the internet doesn't like you, they're just gonna. No one can be your friend. You know, it's like gonna attack everyone. Even if they were your friend at one point, they're gonna turn on you. So you just gotta really watch. Yeah, you gotta watch how. Yeah, I'm reading the comments over
here.
They all know who he is.
Yeah, man. I you know, because I saw that and I'm like, I would read the comments and I'm like, but what did he do? Like, I'm like, I was lost. I didn't know what was going on. And like I said, man, I'm not into it like that. Like I know people that, you know, I know people that love to talk about chemicals and know about chemicals and know the breakdown of them and everything and know this is for that, this is for that. And saying that I don't care is probably too strong, but I really don't care. I for lack of better words, I don't really care about it like that. Like it doesn't. It's not that serious to me. It's chemical. It's a chemical. Like it's a chemical. Like some are better than others. You know, some make the job easier. I get all that. If I find something that works, I'm sticking with it until I bump into nothing. Because I really don't go searching for nothing. Like I really don't go search for nothing. And I got lucky that I met two guys that sells chemicals that knows a lot about them. And I'm glad that I met them because they know about them and I don't have to learn it. They know it. And if I need to know something, I go to them and they're and I want to thank them. They when they come out with something new, I'm like one of the first to get it.
Yeah.
You know, they always send me samples and when they send me more than samples, but they send me stuff, man, and I get to use this stuff and I purchase and everything like that. So like if I find something that works, I rock with it. Like I'm not into it that way. So I don't know why. I've heard of chemical guys. I've never used their products, but for what I'm here, they have good products. I've heard of mattresses, but I only heard of them through the detailing group. Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, man, what's going on with this guy? So all that because of chemical guys.
Yeah.
Ah, that's deep.
So for me, the only product that I really am constantly searching for a new, better thing is like the surface protection thing. So, you know, I'm always looking for a better sealant. I'm always looking for a better protection for paint that's going to be glossier, easier, you know, longer durability. So as far as like analyzing a product and saying, oh, there's this much CO2 in it and it's water based. You could ask me anything. I don't know those things either. I'm like you with that. I just yes, and I prefer to try the product myself because I don't really care what's in it. I'm not a chemist.
Right.
You know, if the product works, then that's good.
Right. So what is your go-to? Like, do you buy brands or do you have like do you have a supplier in your town that has like no name products?
Yeah. Okay. So I have the car wash detail supply guy. Well, he gets the big 100-gallon drums of like acid degreaser. I always get those cleaners because they're cheap and they're overpowered. You could get like a 5-gallon thing for $60. Now you can buy a 1 gallon of something else for $30-$40 on Amazon. So I like to get the bulk and it's all concentrate. So that's going to last. I like to spend my money on the surface protection, like the paint sealants. And for that, I'll go to like IGL. I'll get their sealants because all my packages include a sealant. So I want to get the best one I can because I want when the vehicle's getting rained on, I want the customer to see that the paint beading. I want to see when they wash it themselves that it's right. I want the most obvious thing that someone will notice to really shine. So I'm going to spend $300 on a gallon of a paint sealant versus spending X amount of dollars on some degreaser that it doesn't really matter. You could go cheap on certain things, but I think the protection got to be on point.
Okay. So how did you come to that? Like, how did you get to that point with it? Like, was it something that you always did, or over time did you say, you know what, I'm gonna? Did you start off with like store bought stuff like Walmart, AutoZone, stuff like that?
Okay, so I always been at a detail shop, like at a
Right. Okay.
yeah. So right from the jump, I knew the suppliers. I have the same suppliers from my whole life, pretty much. It's the same.
Right.
Um, so yeah, we always bought those bulk products, but the difference was back then we used waxes, and then the sealants weren't that great back then. They were more like, they weren't shiny. They were just real sticky. You put them on the paint, you leave it, let it cure for 2 hours, to come back and chisel it off. It's like a lot of things have changed now. Sealant you can just spray on the vehicle, wipe it on, and it's good. So yeah, that's why I'm always, from that time when I first used those sealants that were tacky to now, everything's getting easier. So I always want to be up to date. Like something might come out that's even easier. So I'm always messing around to try to find the next best thing that's out there. And they're always updating stuff. Like it's almost like every year there's a new product that.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's always something. You're right. It's always something coming out, and it's always something. And it's like, how do you keep up with all that stuff? Like, man, listen, this stuff's been working. I got my acid. I got my soaps and stuff like that, degreasers and things like that. And if it's working, until I just see something or I run across something that I'm like, wow, it's like I gotta get it, like, because look how much time it's cutting off. That's why I buy it. I'm not really into it like that. And one thing I've learned too, man, is buying your chemicals in bulk, like by the gallon or whatever, and buying it concentrated where you just dilute it yourself or whatever, you save a lot of money, man. Because when I started off, man, I was going to like AutoZone, Walmart, even Dollar General. I was just, whatever. I didn't care. I would grab anything, and unless I grabbed something that was garbage, and I'm not buying it again. But if it worked, I used it. But I want to say like maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, I started using like heavily concentrated stuff and diluting it, and I saw the difference, and I saw how long how long it would last me, and how much money I would make before I had to re-up again. And so I was like, okay, it's a chemical place around here somewhere. That I was told about. I might have to go and check them out and start buying drums and stuff, because like I'm getting to that point now, making enough money where I can buy, at least something I'm going to use all the time, like acid and degreaser and soap, something like that, But I like to support my people, that's doing this. I'll buy from them, and I'll rock with them and see what they got going on, because Sporty's got some good stuff. G-Works got some good stuff as well. I've been using your soap, G-Works. I've been using your soap on every wash since you sent it to me. So Sporty's got some good chemicals too. He got some new stuff that's coming out. Y'all see that too. But yeah, man, it was nice talking with you, man.
You too.
Yeah, if you want to look in the comment section, if anybody on here wants to ask Joey any questions, or you just want to send him some love or whatever, go ahead and do it now. He's checking you guys out right now, man. So we'll spend the last like 5 minutes doing that, man. And we just gonna wrap it up, man.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Let me give everybody a shout out right quick. Let me see who's all on here, man. We got Z Customs. What's going on, man? Randy Cottigan, Callis, Al, Rome the Polisher, William Mandrano. I hope I didn't butcher that. G-Works, what's going on, big dog? What's this? Trap Cracker, what's up? What's up? We got June Jones, Dealer Detailing. I messed that up. Dealership Detailing Podcast. Routers Detail. I see you, big dog. Okay. Man, that's a lot of what's the Pump 24. I can't pronounce all that, but I see you, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Jay Jack, what's going on, Nate Jack? Mario Montez, I see you. Strong Freak, what's going on? Matthew, I see you, big dog. Sporty's in the building. Kendo Details from Texas. I see you, big dog. What's that? Abel Celestine Jr. I see you. Supreme Kid 98. What's going on, man? Okay, I see Trap Keeper got a question for you, Joey.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start from the first one that I see, which is, what is your favorite bulk rinseless wash? ONR's got to be the best thing going. I'm sorry. I like waterless washes as well, but ONR is going to be number one. And Masterson's waterless wash and shine is I swear, it's the best thing I ever used. I'm going to use it. I'm almost out. I got to order it. ONR, you can mix it with your other chemicals. So say if you have a real aggressive product from the car wash supply, you can mix ready-to-use ONR and cut your products, and it's going to make the pH balance a little bit safer. There's some products you can spray on the leather seat to clean it, and it will just burn right on the leather. So I use ONR to cut my products, not straight water. Next question, Trap Cracker. Joey, are you pretty much all rinseless and waterless? I am all things. So if I go to someone's house and there's a water hose there, I don't have a tank because we're not allowed to get water runoff. So I use waterless and rinseless most of the time. If I'm at someone's house and their car is really bad, I will, if they offer, I will use their water. Or if they have a really expensive driveway with like some crazy stone, I don't want to get it dirty, I'll say, hey, can I use your water? Most of the time, yes. 90% of the time, waterless wash and rinseless wash. And then there's another question about the sealant. Let's see. My favorite spray-on paint sealant, all right, is going to be Premier from IGL, but it's kind of on the pricey side. It's about $300 a gallon. So there's another one that's really good, and it claims up to 8 months. This one is from G Technique. It's C2V3, I believe, liquid crystal. Now, if you go on detailingimage.com and you're a member of their tier platform, you can get a gallon of that for $160, depending on what tier you're on. So you're going to get about almost half the price of Premier. And the only difference is Premier's beads are super tight, so it's like a coating, but G Techniques are more like a really good wax, but it lasts really long, easy to put on in direct sun. So those are the things that I use. There's a couple other things, but that's my two main ones. I think that's it.
Okay. If y'all get them in now, if y'all got any questions. Y'all got any questions for Joey or myself?
And if you guys want to join Detailing for Money, just go on there, just put my name in, just put my name in the comment section. Because there's gonna be 3 questions you gotta answer to join the group. Just put my name in there and I'll approve you. So if your name's different from here or whatever, I'll approve all you guys. All right, I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, we got 27 in the building. Yeah, people be popping in late, and that's why I be trying to promote it on all the platforms that I have. But they can watch. You can go back. You can also go back and watch the playback. It's different. It's different when you watch it in playback, and when you're involved in it, it's it's not. It don't feel the same. But when you watch it back, you be like, oh, okay, we talked about some good stuff. But I like I told you, I like to do these videos. Because I don't know everything, and I kind of when I look at other people on here, I kind of look at them as like, as far as detailing, knowing more than I do. Because to be honest, like I'm more of like lawn maintenance. Like that's where my skill is. But I'm real good in copying people techniques. So like I said, if I can, I was a police officer for years, and that's how I learned how to shoot. Like, I looked at the best shooter out there, and I watched everything he did. And then, shooting is repetition. It's just doing the same thing over and over to get the same shot over and over and over again. So I'm really good at anything that's like that you use your hands or physical. If I watch you long enough, I can copy it. So like, I did the same thing with detailing, and I would, I would watch people on how they do things or whatever, and I would, I would say, okay, I'm gonna use. If I like that technique, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use that technique. But I like to do these videos because I don't know it all. Yeah. I don't know it all. Now, if it's from a business aspect, I have an MBA. I know business.
Yeah.
So like, I know how to advertise. I know how to, market myself and things like that. So I know that, you could take that to any business. It's the same.
Yeah.
But I like to do these interviews to bring other people in and just kind of bridge the gap, bridge the gap. Like, we see, like I see you on Facebook, but I've never seen you like, and I'm not to say that you don't do it, and this is coming from me. And like I said, I see stuff, but I don't see stuff. So you could be doing other things I probably wouldn't know. But as far as from what I've seen, I've never seen, as far other than your videos, I've never seen you like this. You see what I'm saying? So I want everybody to see you like, and I'm pretty sure there's people on here that have never seen you like this. And what I do is the first thing I do is I go into the to the comments, and I try to look to see when I have somebody on here. I try to look to see what people are saying about the person that I'm interviewing, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, if I can just get one person to say, oh, okay, I know that guy. I'm like, okay, cool. And now, now we're bridging the gap. Like you can, they can be like, okay, oh, okay, I've learned something about him, or I learned, it kind of makes people, it separates you from your company and look, more on the person, like how you think and how you talk and how you really are. Like I like to put that out there. But I think Mario has a question for you.
Okay. So Mario, you're talking about the two-step washing. Yeah, you can two-step wash, but this is what I do. And I can do a wash with one bucket. And a lot of people will say, oh, you're doing a wash with the one bucket. So what I do is, referring to my friend Gary Dean again, is I get a bucket of towels. I throw like maybe 5 towels in there. I wash the car like I normally would with soap, except every time the bucket has waterless wash mixed in there, I'll take a foam can and foam the car down. First, I'll rinse the car off, get all the loose stuff off. Then I'll foam it with like a Gilmore, not a pressure washer, with like a garden hose and a foam can. And then I'll take my towels and I'll wash it. So, and then I don't dip it back in. Once that towel's done, I throw it like in my towel thing, and I just grab another one. So I'm never reintroducing dirt to the vehicle.
Oh, okay. So you just using new mitts every
new mitts, yeah. So you could do that with like if you had like 5 mitts, but see mitts, they're a little more expensive. It's easier to wash a towel. So
right,
whatever. I just found 5 Costco towels in there, or 5 Eagle Edgeless Plus towels. It's gonna be a lot easier. But it's super hot here. The paint on the vehicle can be 160 degrees. So I'm trying to do rinseless wash or waterless wash whenever possible. Most of the time, I'll try to do a waterless because the water's gonna dry to it. Like when I spray it on, the paint is like sizzling almost. It's crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, you can't really wash a car like that. There's another question I saw. He's asking about the Trap Cracker. As far as name brand all-purpose cleaners, I just use 3D. I use all 3D products. I go to Amazon, whatever they ship to me, that's what I'm gonna order. I'm gonna use there because all their products are relatively safe. You're not going to damage anything, and they have pretty much everything. So if you can get your hands on their super wheel, they have a super wheel cleaner. It's one of the best things I ever, and it's concentrated. But you can find that. But all-purpose cleaner. If I'm going to buy any brand name products, it's going to be 3D because Amazon ships that to Hawaii for free. So if I go on another website and I order a gallon of product, the gallon costs $40. It's going to cost $40 to ship it here. So my cost is going to be $80 for 1 gallon. So in order for me to profit, I have to be really, aware of where my unnecessary charges are going when I purchase products.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. I see you, G-Works. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up, man. I appreciate you, Joel, for stopping by. Must do it again sometime, man. Just talk about another subject. I'll get you back on here
Yeah.
next couple of months. I'll try to get you back on here, man. It looks like you got a lot of knowledge and people on here can learn from it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm a big fan of yours, man. Thank you so much.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. All right, man. I'll check you later, man.
All right. Have a good one. Happy Easter.
All right.
Peace.
All right. All right, everybody. Shouts out to everybody, man. Glad that everybody stopped by, man. Appreciate you guys. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all here with me, man. I really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna be a little slow on the videos for maybe the next couple of weeks because I'm just catching up with detailing it. Not detailing, I'm catching up with my lawn care and everything. So I'll be dropping some videos. Like, give me about another week or so, and I'll be back to the regular style videos. But I just had to give y'all something, and basically I just had to give you guys something that y'all can watch, man. Give y'all something that y'all can learn from. But I really appreciate you guys for stopping by, man. Till next time, peace.